like over the years to figure out what is a trigger. And sometimes, I mean, if they're watching, sorry, but a lot of the times it's my family, truthfully. Hi friends, and welcome back to AmandaMuse. So it is Monday here in the land of, you know, Amanda and you, yeah, also Monday, and it's a holiday weekend here in Canada, and I was busy doing family stuff. We had some visitors here. My mom was here, and my stepdad, and her 3 dogs. So I'm feeling a little tired today. Everybody's gone home, but I do have a ton of laundry to do, so I thought I would fold it, and we can have a chat, and just like a little, you know, like a little visit. So let's do it. Also, today is July 2nd, which marks 1 year since I had experienced an assault in public, and I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about anxiety, because on Saturday night I had a very close encounter with a panic attack, and it was very bizarre. Like, I wasn't even sure what had triggered me, and so I thought maybe we could talk about that, like how I manage that kind of stuff in my day-to-day. So yeah, I thought that we could do that today and just have like a casual one-on-one. But it's me with you. You get me. Okay, so let's do it. I think what we're gonna do is start with just the recap a little bit. I'm gonna link a video below, which by the way is unmonetized because apparently it's not ad friendly, too controversial. So in order to keep this video as ad friendly as possible, I'm not gonna go into too many details. So if you wanna learn and kind of see what happened, the links are below. All right, so I guess the update is that it has been 1 year, and it's been on my mind lately, I think quite significantly actually, just kind of, you know, thinking about how I felt last year when all of this took place, and you know, how I felt about my kids being exposed to that kind of thing. And so I will say it definitely came up a ton after the experience. In fact, I'll list a few videos below where I sort of share like the 1 week and then the 1 month after everything had taken place. I guess, and now we're at the 1 year. So it's not something I really give much thought to. If anything, I feel still very confident in how I acted. I still go to that store occasionally. It's kind of far from me, so I don't go there very often. But you know, it's not like I've changed my life to avoid the store. Occasionally, I will see a person that looks like that man, and it freaks me out. Like I stop in my tracks. I'm like, holy God! Like that kind of makes me feel nervous, and so that'll happen from time to time. But generally speaking, it's not something I give much thought to, and I just keep living my normal life. I don't have any fears of anything, although for a while there, I did really struggle when Dean was away for work, because as you know, sometimes my husband travels for work, and I was having a lot of trouble feeling safe in my own home. And so that took some time to get over, and I ended up seeing a counselor, like I was telling you guys, and I did that just for a few sessions. But it helped, and I felt really good. One odd thing that came from it is I really don't like certain things, like specifically the public pool. I'm not really sure why all of a sudden, but that place is a major trigger for me, and I feel super anxious, and I do not enjoy myself. And by public pool, I mean like a covered pool. Like I went to our local YMCA, and I took the kids, and I was not okay. I felt like I could spot every potential predator in the area, and it really freaked me out, and it was really bizarre. So I don't like to do that. So like if Dean wants to take the kids swimming, go for it, but I'm not going. I just do not enjoy it. However, when I go to like an outdoor pool, I don't feel the same way. Maybe because I'm like having fun or something. I don't know. That's about the only thing. I'll still go to other public places. I'm sort of aware of when I wear a dress and like when there's people around, but not really. Like I still wear dresses. I still enjoy wearing dresses, and so I'll wear them, and it's not something that's changed that much. I do find though that it comes up in conversation. Like I don't mind talking about it, and I find it just makes me aware of my surroundings a little bit more. So yeah, all in all, I think I've taken it and I've learned something from it, and I just kind of keep moving forward, you know? That said, though, it is bothering me this weekend, and I think maybe it's been on my mind more than I gave it credit. And so my mom came out this weekend to visit, and we sometimes have a difficult relationship, and it was a nice visit, but sometimes we talk about stuff that I'm not thrilled to talk about. And her and I kind of had a little chat about that last night, but it just kind of happens, you know, when you haven't seen people in a while. And you'll have to tell me how you feel about this in the comments, but when I haven't seen people in a while, especially family members, you tend to like fall into this loop of stuff that you talk about. And so her and I tend to do that. And she has, not to like air all the dirty laundry, but she has some difficult relationships with some of my family members. And so sometimes that comes up and that takes the focus and it kind of takes the wind out of my sails. So that sort of happened. And then there was a situation where another family member called me in a certain state. And the long story short is it just was like a lot of energy output, further compounded by insane heat. So it was really hot here in Canada this weekend. I'm in Southern Ontario, so it was crazy, crazy hot. Like 86 degrees Fahrenheit. What was it, 32? And that's not including like humidity and all of that. So super hot, and I sat outside a little bit too long, and I got a little bit of like heat stroke. So when I went to bed on Saturday night, I felt really dizzy and really like nauseous, and I thought, oh, here we go, I'm gonna throw up. And I really don't do well with throw up. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it because I get like anxious about it. I don't know what it is. Like other people can be sick, other grown people, and I'm like kind of okay, but boy, if it's me, I am not good. I have like a weird anxiety about it. I get all panicky, and so then what happens is I get panicky and then I feel like I have a panic attack coming on. And when I have a panic attack, it tends to turn into a seizure, which is a little bit scary. And so it's not epilepsy, like I've been tested for that and I don't have epilepsy. It's just literally like a panic-induced situation. So I felt it coming on, and because my husband knows me very well, he was able to keep me calm and just keep me rested. And it's almost like a panic attack that causes the throw up, and then it's like a whole messy situation basically. I digress. So I felt that coming on, and because I've experienced it before, and because Dean knew and he was around, he was able to like calm me down, get a cool compress for my forehead, and just like, relax, you're safe, everything's good. And so I find when I feel that stuff coming on, and if you've ever experienced a panic attack, then you would know, I have to just remind myself like, you're okay, calm down, kind of remove yourself from the stressor. So whatever that trigger is for you, you will figure it out as you go. And if you haven't, well, that's a good thing to start to think about. But yeah, I'll kind of just calm myself down, sip some sugary drink, because sometimes I get like low blood sugar, and just relax, and then once I fall asleep, it tends to be fine. So that was unfortunate. And then of course what comes from that is that afterwards I am totally depleted, because it's like it took all the energy in my body to recover from that experience. So I feel a little bit like that today. And that's like 2 days ago now, because we're Monday already. So anxiety is just a really not fun thing, and it's so important, I found, like over the years, to figure out what is a trigger. And sometimes, if they're watching, sorry, but a lot of the times it's my family, truthfully. And I try to keep really good boundaries with certain conversations, certain experiences, because I find it can be it's just not good for me. I don't know why, just isn't. So it sucks to like have to come to terms with that, and maybe I'm being like a little too vulnerable with you guys today, but c'est la vie, right? And I think it's safe to say that most people have situations in their lives, in their families, that maybe it is not the healthiest and isn't the most functional. I think there's more dysfunction in people's lives these days than we would all care to admit. And so you just try your best to navigate that. And for me, it doesn't work for me to cut people out. I haven't really had much success with doing that, because I find it's more work, honestly. And so something that I do is I just manage boundaries, and I understand what my triggers are. So in a situation with the stress that I feel around the assault situation, it's like, okay, I know that the public pool is gonna trip me out, and certain situations are gonna trip me out, so I just won't do it. And that's it. I know what it is, so why put myself in those situations voluntarily? And with the family stuff, I know what the triggers are, and so I don't, I keep good boundaries, and then I'm able to maintain and preserve certain relationships because of it. So that's something I like to do. What else did I want to talk about with you guys today? I have managed to go through all of this without medication, which is a bonus. But a lot of people do need medication to manage their anxiety and their moods, and that's totally good. And that's something too, like I had a friend who was saying that she had just not been feeling very well, not been feeling like herself, and she went to the doctor, and they had prescribed her some anti-anxiety medication, like a low dose. And I think the thing that surprised her the most, and I feel so proud of her for this, is that she said she didn't actually realize like the level of stress she was at until the stress was brought down and the anxiety was reduced because of the medication. So she feels like she has been able to improve her quality of life because she didn't actually know potentially how bad she was or how bad she was kind of coping. So that's something, if this is something that you struggle with in your life, maybe it's worth investigating with your doctor, and you can see like, are you at a point where maybe you do need maybe some regular therapy or some, medication to help balance you out? And I'm not suggesting you need medication. I'm also not suggesting you don't need medication. Do you know what I mean? It's like you really just got to figure out what's going to work best with how you are programmed and built. So yeah, and I will say Cole's notes, like, because my mom was just here and it's fresh in my brain, one of the things is that her and I had a very difficult relationship growing up because she had undiagnosed mental health stuff. And we've talked about that before on here. But however, since being diagnosed and getting the proper medication, we've been able to rebuild our relationship. And so that's something, So the power of getting onto the right path and getting onto the right plan for you is so important. And so, yeah, anyway, that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about today, was just go, hey, you know what? Mental health is really important. Taking care of yourself is really important. And I am noticing a trend just among people that people are really considering their mental health and their quality of life. Like, just recently, my husband quit his job because, quite frankly, he was just in a very bad work environment, and I think that there is truly more to life than being around terrible people. And I was listening to the Casey Neistat, Casey and Candace and Casey's podcast, and their last episode, they're talking a lot about how they are hoping to move to, they're in New York, hoping to move to LA, and one of the reasons is that they need a change. They need a quality of life change. And I feel like this is a trend that's happening, and it's like more and more people are thinking about, it's so important to be ambitious, it's so important to be working hard, to be a good person, like all of these things, but then it's also important to think about how you feel inside, and if something isn't working, you got to make a change. I've been talking about that a little bit here. I made a change with my upload schedule for the summer. I dropped the Friday videos because I'm just like, it's just too much right now, and I know that's going to make for a crazy summer, and so I'm going to just make a little shift, and it's okay. Like, you'll still see me a ton and hear me on the podcast, and so you just got to like take that time to think about yourself, because we say it all the time, but it is so very true that, is this inside out? That's weird. But it's a little crop top, which, by the way, how cute is this crop top? It's so 90s. But the way, it's that whole thing where you have to take care of yourself first. Like, you have to fill your own cup before you can fill other people's, your own oxygen mask before you can apply anyone else's. So yeah, there's some truth to that stuff. And anyway, I just wanted to have a little heart-to-heart with you guys today, let you know what's going on, and sort of come full circle on that experience, because yeah, it happens, man. Like, stuff happens, and I think you just have to keep walking forward. And when you find you're sort of stuck and you're just sinking a little bit, to stop and get the help that you need. And I know there's like, with the recent things that have happened where there's been some celebrities who have taken their own life, and it's all like, check on your friends and reach out to your strong friends. Absolutely. And just reach out to people, it's like, yeah, it's like connecting with people, it's connecting with yourself, to do a little check-in to see how you're feeling. And it's important, because the way you feel is important, the way that you take care of yourself is important, and you are a priority, So anyway, just a little food for thought today. Also, I got half the laundry folded. Boom. and I'm gonna put it away because I'm in that kind of mood. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't heard already, I have officially launched the podcast. It's out, The Sandwich. You can search it everywhere, pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. And if for some reason you can't find it on your preferred podcast app, let me know in the comments and I will find a way to add it there. So yeah, episode 3 is coming out this week. So there's 2 episodes out right now. The first one talks a lot about body. It's called Boobs, Butts, and Botox. And it talks just about our bodies pre-baby, pregnancy, post-baby, all of those things. And it also, and then the second episode is called Church and Ballroom Dancing, and it talks a lot about loneliness, which I think can be applied to anybody, gender neutral. You don't have to have kids to enjoy this podcast. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. You have to let me know in the comments what you're thinking about it. Subscribe here if you're new. Mondays and Wednesdays you'll see videos. And that's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.